It's finally over. It's done. It is over, right? Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. The Acolyte is mercifully over and done with. As the Leslye Headland Star Wars series capped off its first season, it was a truly atrocious night of television that ran the full spectrum from hilarious to insulting to downright infuriating. We'll have a review up in a few days, but much like a teenager who managed to survive an encounter with Freddy Krueger, you might find yourself breathing a sigh of relief with a twinge of fear in the back of your mind. Because the question remains, are you truly safe? Could this monster somehow rise again to terrorize the masses? Or is it well and truly gone for good? Let's find out on Tooneytown TV. So, Leslye Headland has once more confirmed that a second season of The Acolyte has not been greenlit. Now, this story comes to us from That Park Place and our friend John F. Trent, the editor-in-chief over there. We see here a picture of Mama Horny looking ridiculous. By the way, where the heck did she go? She disappeared off Lesbian Witch Mountain. Everyone thought it was setting up an appearance, in the finale, and lo and behold, she never showed up. So the Acolyte showrunner Leslye Headland confirmed again that a second season of The Acolyte has not been greenlit by Lucasfilm. Now, you guys might think this is a repeat story, because we did cover this a couple weeks ago when she said she didn't have a second season. But now, as we were going into the finale, she confirmed yet again that there's no second season greenlit. So we might actually be able to, get out of this without ever having to see this again. So in an interview with Nerdist, Headland was asked, do you know if you're definitely getting a season 2? And she responded, no, with a big laugh. I think it sounds something like, oh, 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 oh. Or maybe more like Salacious Crumb, where it's like, ah! That was a terrible Salacious Crumb after a really good job at the hut. Way to go, Mav. She then elaborated, I have no idea. Well, not that I have no idea. I would say there are conversations, and I don't know when that will happen. I don't know when that decision will be made. It sounds to me like the decision's already been made. Folks, nobody watched this show. It has one of the lowest viewerships ever. Don't buy the hype. A ton of independent sources have confirmed that people were just not watching this, and it lost so much of its audience. It has lost 75% of the Star Wars audience. Ahsoka creamed it, and Ahsoka was garbage. And this was, look, there's garbage, and then there's The Acolyte. Like, The Acolyte is probably and it's not even the virtue signaling. It's not even the girl power, men are bad agenda that Leslye was driving through this show. A lot of it had to do with just the fact that it's so terribly written. It's so terribly inconsistent. None of these characters were real people. They weren't built up. They weren't three-dimensional. Every single one of them does something stupid at some point that completely flies in the face of their character. And the one character people actually liked, Master Soul, Jedi Master Squid Games, they turned him into a complete creep who gets obsessed with a little girl after spying on her in the woods and then following her home. It's ridiculous. All of it is ridiculous. Headland had previously stated that she did not know if a second season would be in the cards. She told Entertainment Weekly at the end of June, I'll tell you my philosophy on first seasons. Something that I've noticed is first seasons will end on what should have been the break into Act 2. I feel like everyone's really expecting to get a second season. I don't feel that's a good idea. Okay, so after seeing this this finale, this statement rings especially weird to me because she 100% thought she was getting a season 2 with the way she was building things up, ending with the shot of Yoda, having that really weird Darth Plagueis cameo in there, which I honestly think was just her throwing a little tantrum because people were like, Leslye, you can't change the established lore of the Sith. But ending with, Osha and Kamir like staring off into the sky, and then May being over with the Jedi and Jedi Master Leslye Headland's wife being like, I need you to help me. All of it kind of pointed toward a second season. So she definitely wrote this with a second season in mind. I'm sorry. So she's talking out of her rear end here because she knows she's not getting a second season. So, and she's also got a lot of different projects lined up. She's got a Broadway show coming out. So I'm pretty sure any minute now we're going to hear, guys, Broadway saved my life. I know so much about Broadway. So then she says, I think you should put everything you can into the first season and give the audience a nice resolution that feels satisfying. Well, if that's what you think, Leslye, then why didn't you do it? You did not give anyone a resolution that felt satisfying. I mean, there was nothing too satisfying. There was nothing to this show. It was just garbage, like just nonsense garbage. Going into this finale, nobody even knew what the conflict was going to be. Yeah, but enough nods to mysteries that you'd want to see in a second season. Okay, yeah, there's nods are one thing. Oh, she outwardly left it for a second season. Like this is not even. She absolutely doesn't know what she's talking about here. She then explained, so it's a little bit of both. You don't want to leave it so wrapped up like that, like Obi-Wan or standalone miniseries. There's no reason to watch a second season. There's already no reason to watch a second season of this. But I think there's enough stuff in the last few episodes that you would want to have answered. You mean like every major mystery in this entire mystery? There are no mysteries, but like every dangling thread, you didn't resolve anything. Next, she was asked if there were any progress made in a possible season 2. She replied, I remember reading that Vince Gilligan, first of all, how dare you? How dare you invoke the name of Vince Gilligan, you putrid hack? The guy is the greatest, most prolific television writer of our time. And you, like, if there is an opposite of Vince Gilligan, it is Leslye Headland. So in writing and doing the first season of Breaking Bad, really didn't plan on we're getting 7 more seasons, and this is what's going to happen to Walter White. It was much more, here's everything we got. We're throwing everything at the wall. Then with the pickup, he mapped out, okay, here's what's going to happen over the course of how many seasons. You didn't do that. You didn't throw everything at the wall. This was clearly like a please give me a second season finale. You are so dumb. If this show gets a second season, it is the most fiscally irresponsible thing a studio has ever done because nobody likes it except for woke weirdos on the internet who are just like, oh, I just want to see them kiss. Like, first of all, if she's his Sith apprentice or whatever, dark side apprentice or acolyte or whatever the heck, they're not going to kiss. That's not what master and apprentice is. She then asserted, so I took that approach with this. I threw everything into season 1 because who knows what's going to happen? I do. I know what's going to happen. You're done. If this gets a second season, it will be. I will react like the people of Tokyo when Godzilla comes back out of the water again. It is. There's no way this can get a second season. From there, she indicated that she would need a break before potentially doing a second season. She also admitted a second season hadn't been greenlit. She said, and I'd say there are 4 to 5 major mysteries and plot points that have to get hit in season 2, but until we've got a proper pickup, I worry that spending a lot of time in that world, especially being in a period where I've worked so long on this project that honestly, I'm exhausted by it coming out, to kind of jump right into like, all right, season 2. No, you are not getting a second season. Please. God above, no season 2 of The Acolyte. I don't know if I can handle it because I would have to watch it and I'd have to report on it for you guys. You know, it's literally my job. And good Lord, I don't want to sit through this again. It'll probably be more than I know what needs to happen. And I know what the character development needs to be in order to hit the plot points and the character points for a second, third, or fourth season. So I look forward to working on that. But right now I haven't. So here's the thing, like everyone's like, oh, but Andor got a second season. Ahsoka's getting a second season. They already had second seasons greenlit going into their first season. Andor was always meant to be a 2-season, experience. So we knew that going in. We already knew there was a second season of Andor. We knew there was going to be a second season of Ahsoka. We knew there was going to be a movie associated with Ahsoka. So these were not mysteries. Nobody was wondering whether they were going to get picked up for a second season. This is, good Lord, I cannot imagine the amount of fiscal irresponsibility after you spent $180 million on a show that visually just looks putrid to then give that a second season. I cannot imagine a world where even Bob Iger is that dumb. So yes, John Trent goes on, the show is not performing well based on a number of metrics. Nielsen recently released viewership data for the show's 2-episode premiere, revealing it only garnered 444 million minutes watched. So that put it at number 7, getting beat out by such huge, streaming giants as Eric, Sweet Tooth, the thing about the deer kid, Bridgerton, which actually is very big, Evil, Geek Girl, Dancing for the Devil, the 7 million TikTok cult. Good Lord. Oh, man. For comparison, Ahsoka, which aired on Disney Plus in August 2023, had a 2-episode premiere that had 829 million minutes watched. The total minutes watched between Ahsoka and the Acolyte's premiere is nearly a 50% decline. And there's one big caveat. Ahsoka's 2 episodes had a total runtime of 101 minutes compared to the Acolyte's 82 minutes. However, even if you use Disney's simple tool of minutes viewed divided by total runtime, Ahsoka's viewership comes out to 8.2 million views compared to the Acolyte's 5.4 million. That's a 34% decline. That's huge. It gets even worse if you compare it to The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere, which arrived on Disney Plus in March of 2023. Nielsen reported the 1-episode premiere garnered 823 million minutes watched. Like with Ahsoka, that is nearly a 50% decline in total minutes watched. However, it gets even more bleak when you realize that the premiere episode was only 37 minutes long. That means by Disney's calculation, it would be 22.2 million views. That makes it a 75.6% decline. The Acolyte lost 75% of the Star Wars audience. The show completely fell off the top chart for streaming originals from Luminate for the week the show's 6th episode debuted. So, when you release a show like this, you're supposed to see upward growth. Yeah, and this is with any business venture, whether it's wrestling, whether it's TV, movies. When you release a trilogy, each movie is supposed to be more successful than the one that came before it, kind of like the Avengers. I don't know if Age of Ultron was more successful than the actual Avengers, but, Infinity War and Endgame definitely saw that progression upward. Then you've got things like the Star Wars sequels where, The Force Unleashed made a buttload of money. And then it was I think it was less for The Last Jedi, and then even less, definitely less for Rise of Skywalker. So the show completely fell off the top chart for streaming originals. As noted by ex-user Now It's Known, The Acolyte had less than 282 million minutes viewed, which was the amount of minutes watched by the 10th-ranked Presumed Innocent, which airs on Apple TV. Now, let's take a look at this. We've got The Bear, Worst Roommate Ever, Supercell, Love Island USA, Owning Manhattan, Bridgerton, The Boys, America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, My Lady Jane, and Presumed Innocent. These are all shows that beat The Acolyte, that beat Star Wars. The Bear beat Star Wars. The Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders beat Star Wars as it was ramping up to its finale. I mean, The Boys and Bridgerton, those are big shows. I get it. So, but man alive. And the streaming originals for film, you saw all this. So the fact that it fell off the charts is telling, but it's unclear if the show saw an actual decline week to week. The reason being is that Luminate reported that The Acolyte only brought in 232.2 million minutes watched that week. Its 5th episode debuted. Given that the lowest show clocked in at 282 million minutes, it's possible The Acolyte saw its viewership increase. However, this would defy the quickly forming trend of the show. So, we don't know. It's likely viewership declined significantly given the total number of reviews on IMDb dropped by almost 40%. The total number of reviews per episode has correlated with Luminate's viewership data week over week. Audience scores are also terrible for the show, and nearly every week the tomato meter score declines as well. Audience score was sitting at 14% of the time of this. I believe currently it is sitting at 15%, so it did go up 1%. So, yeah, yay. But again, the show had a $180 million price tag. You cannot imagine that it has recouped its costs because now the way you get it is subscriptions. That's how this show makes money. It doesn't sell advertising or anything like that. So it's all Disney Plus subscription. So has this show brought in $180 million worth of Disney Plus subscriptions in order to justify this monstrous budget? Like, where the heck did all that money go? In the company's most recent quarterly earnings report, however, it shared that it had 54 million subscribers to Disney Plus in the United States and Canada. Now, based on Nielsen's numbers, the show garnered around 5.4 million viewers. Disney calculates a view by dividing the total number of that's only 10% of Disney Plus subscribers watched The Acolyte, which is abysmal. Now, Ahsoka had nearly doubled that. It had 17.7% of all subscribers in the United States and Canada. So there you go, guys. The Acolyte Season 2, we don't know for sure. All we know is that nothing has been announced yet, but I cannot imagine that it's gone yet. So can we breathe a collective sigh of relief that it's over? Yes, for now. However, weirder things have happened.
So I am cautiously optimistic that we've seen the last of the Acolyte, but I would not be shocked if Kathleen Kennedy decides to greenlight season 2.
For now, it seems as though the beast has been truly slain and we can all breathe a collective sigh of relief. But never underestimate Kathleen Kennedy's disdain and spite for her own franchise's fans. The media is so desperate to paint this horror show as a success that it's extremely possible that we might suffer through it one more time before all is said and done. And if that happens, Tooneytown TV will be here to make fun of it all over again. Thanks for watching this video, and we hope you'll check us out Thursday nights at 8 p.m. live for Tooney Talk TV, our live stream podcast. I also invite you to subscribe to Tooneytown Wrestling, our pro wrestling channel, and That Game Place, the That Park Place gaming channel, where I'm a regular host. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop, and let me know in the comments whether you think we're safe from the Acolyte and Leslye Headland in Star Wars once and for all. From all of us here at Tooneytown TV, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!